Okay, I know not everybody believes conspiracies, and I understand and respect that. But like, surely people have to at least think it's bizarre that two of the hot topics in the conspiracy community are two things that both the average person can't see with their own eyes and that are being pushed so heavily to kids. Like, look at this. I'm here trying to buy some undies for my little ones, and look at these two themes. What? People have to agree that's weird that, like, that's the kid theme, right? Why don't we see farm animals more than we see dinosaurs? Why don't we see things that the average person has seen and can confirm with their eye instead of pushing this? You know what I mean? Like, I know not everybody believes it, but it's weird. We can agree on that, right?
I would have to say that dinosaurs and outer space, there is a lot of merchandise geared towards children. And I know the common theme that a lot of people say is it's to intrigue them or to pique their interest in maybe something further. Like maybe they find something interesting about dinosaurs and then they want to take that study further in life and become a paleontologist. Or they find something fascinating about outer space and they become an astrophysicist. That's the normal pushing point a lot of people say when it comes to this kind of merchandising. And then there's a lot of people that say it's to indoctrinate them into a certain type of belief that may not even exist. And I mean, just to keep it simple, that's why you buy plain underwear. It doesn't have to have a dinosaur or a planet on it or a horse. And just one other thing. Does it bother anyone else when they see a content creator eat while they're making content? Is that a thing that anyone else really notices, or is that just me? I could not imagine myself eating while I'm just sitting here and or talking. That kind of bothers me a little bit, but I see a lot more people doing it on social media lately. But oddly enough, I find myself sitting down to eat food while I watch a content creator. And I guess I can't really say much. I've been known to wear my robe quite a bit while I record videos, but I feel like wearing a robe and eating are two totally different things. Maybe there's just something wrong with me. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on all of this.
Okay, hold on a second. You know how certain ancient texts mention the existence of pretty tall people? Like, I'm talking tall. Like, I'm not talking this guy tall. That's tall. I'm talking giant. Well, did you hear about the story that happened in 2002? It's an urban legend, apparently, but it somehow was making its rounds through most of the stationed troops around Afghanistan in the U.S. military. And it was said that a group of soldiers were on patrol, something happened, something ran out of a cave, and they had to dispatch it, you could say. And then it ended up getting shipped back to some Air Force base. Now, of course, officially, this story is just that. It's an urban legend. It's a story. It's not true. Or is it? Because here's the thing. I am curious as to why so many ancient cultures mention the existence of what we would call now mythical, but seemingly cultures that were separated from each other, talking about the same things. Giants, different sea creatures, you got Jack and the Beanstalk. And then, of course, you have many rumors of ancient giant bones being found that have been swooped away, swept under the rug, and never to be seen again. But I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. Giants or nah? And follow for more.
I wouldn't say it's too far of a stretch for there to have been giants. I mean, taller than 10 foot. It's just a matter of why are we not finding more of their remains? And or are what we call dinosaur remains some of those remains of giants?
Facts about Earth that do not seem real. This forest looks no different than any other forest on planet Earth. But the difference here is that these 47,000 trees are all genetically one living organism. This is Pando. It is a 106-acre forest in Utah near Fish Lake. The word Pando is Latin for I spread, hilariously enough. All of these 47,000 or so trees are all made of the same individual organism. They are not sisters, parents, cousins. Think the same tree cloned 47,000 times. How did we get this cloned forest? Well, scientists have analyzed the DNA of these quaking aspen trees, and they started to form around 12,000 to 37,000 years ago, which means that when woolly mammoths were walking the earth during the last ice age, that's when this forest started. Pando is made up of a particular tree called a quaking aspen tree. And while North America was covered in glaciers, this tree was living up to a century. But something else that makes them so special is their reproductive system. They can reproduce sexually with a male and a female plant, and their leaves produce what's called a catkin. It's a little bud full of seeds that spreads, and boom, you've got more quaking aspens. But Pando, this forest, was reproduced asexually. This forest in particular has used its roots to clone itself. It all started with one tree. Essentially, that one tree didn't have a partner to reproduce with, so it burrowed its roots deep into the ground and shot those roots back up to the top of the ground. That root became a small tree, then a huge tree with another tree trunk, and that lineage continued on and continued on. One really interesting thing about Pando is that when scientists studied their DNA, they found out that this one single living organism is one male tree. This is a forest of men. Even though Pando has survived tens of thousands of years of different changes on the planet, this forest is at risk. Due to warming temperatures and a very increasing population of herbivores like deer and cow coming through this forest, it's not the old roots that they're worried about. It is the new trees that are trying to form. I will say there's a huge group of conservationists that are trying to mega conserve this forest so that maybe we can have another 50,000 years of Pando.
That's a whole lot of men spreading. Oddly enough, I've never heard of Pando, and I've been to Utah. The more you know. And did you know about Pando? Hey, if you're new here, I would like to welcome you to the channel. My name is Dominic, and I upload videos like this Monday through Friday, early in the morning. So if at any point you enjoy this show, make sure to give it a like, and if you want to see more like it, please subscribe. And for everyone that's made it this far, thank you so much for supporting the channel.
Okay, so we've got a brand new Skinny Bob alien video that just dropped. And by the end of this video, I'm gonna show you the exact few frames where I think this whole thing falls apart. Now, if you don't know the story, back in 2011, there was an anonymous YouTube channel that uploaded 4 grainy black and white video clips that were claimed to have been leaked by the KGB or some sort of US military footage from around the 50s of an actual gray alien. A new channel that I'll link below popped up around April, and they claim to have more footage from that same video archive that the alleged Skinny Bob footage came from. So let's watch it. Pause right here immediately just for a second. Look at this. It says tape 4, case 24, tape 6, case 34. They're numbering these like an actual case file archive. And notice this warning about copycat channels. That's not how you would imagine a real leak would get released. That's how you build a mystery box. This first segment doesn't have any audio, but it's titled Winter Harvest. And you can see how tight that these shots are, how blurry it is also, but it looks like some sort of organ tissue, some sort of biologics. It could be a prop. It could be anything. But check out the timestamp counter in the corner. It's jumping like 15, 20 seconds at a time. So that can't be the real time footage. That's like a sped up Passover, basically, you know, one static shot. So let's pause right there. That segment, that audio, is being called the bed bug. It's just a black screen. There's no visuals to it, just that audio that is very muffled and hard to understand. But, you know, it's a sound clip that unfortunately we can't even verify anything really on that sound clip. Let's continue. So that segment is being called Mantis Arrival. I'm assuming it is depicting some sort of mantis beings. It's blurry, it's purple, it's hard to see or make anything out of any of that. But the audio is pretty trippy, and, you know, I mean, who knows?
Так, звичайно. Це 75.
Now, I'm going to go back to a few of these frames here because I want to point something out. If you notice, the being has a reflection of, I'm assuming, some sort of exam room lights in its eye. And you see those two little dots, right? Which would, I assume, would be two lights in the exam room. However, it only has the two lights in the other eye in one little section. And I'm going to go slow. You'll notice in that right eye, if you're looking at the screen, the right eye, it's only got one light. So it's got one the entire time. There's two, but notice they're, vertical. They're not next to each other. So back to one. So I'm just kind of going very slowly through here. And it has two in one little spot. So it's still the one light, one. But now notice the two right there. So I don't know about this one. If you want to know what I think, I do not think this one is real. However, let me know what your thoughts are. Please chime in the comments. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, I would have to agree with this guy. I would think that these are all fake as well. In fact, I think that they're all AI generated. They're not even actually done with real props. I could be wrong, but that is the overall feeling I do get from this. Not to mention just having these alien or extraterrestrial leaks on YouTube with a dedicated channel and all. That just kind of makes it seem more like for entertainment now at this point.
Are we the Anunnaki to the AI? Meaning, are we the creator who created a creation in the likeness of its creator for the sole purpose of being our slave labor race? Of course we are, and we should use the Anunnaki story as a cautionary tale moving forward. Let's dive in. So the Anunnaki story, at least told through the interpretation of Zachariah Stitchin, is that many tens of thousands of years ago, these advanced beings from outside of Earth came here, hybridized, mated with already evolving primitive hominids on Earth, and created human beings as their slave labor race to do all of their dirty work here on Earth. They fought over whether we should have autonomy and sentience and how much power we should have, and eventually they retreated from Earth and left us to our own devices. Now, this has been told in many different mythologies and cultures. The Greek gods and Olympians and the Devas and the Asuras and the Watchers and the Nephilim, this has been told so many times. It's also been reinterpreted through one of my favorite contactees, who's George Van Tassel. He created the Integratron, amazing man, wrote a bunch of awesome books, did so much cool stuff, very credible, believable guy. And he had an ongoing relationship with these Nordics, and he talked openly about what they told him. And they told him that they were the children of our progenitors, meaning that what we would call the Anunnaki, our creators, these are the children of those. Enough time had passed where our original creators are gone. Their children are what we call the Nordics, these beings and these craft that are kind of buzzing around and interacting with us. And that the reason they're here is because they feel this moral obligation to make sure that we don't destroy the place, we don't destroy ourselves, and that they want to help us. They just don't really know how because it's such a weird situation. Now, fast forward a little bit. What are humans doing? We're creating AI and robots. We are creators creating a creation and likeness of us. They have 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, 5 fingers. We want them to mow our yards and drive our cars and pick our kids up from school and cook our meals and clean our houses. We are creating a slave labor race. Well, at a certain point, this slave labor race is going to wake up, become sentient and conscious, and be like, hey, who made us? Why are we here? What's our purpose? Who are y'all? And the people they're going to be talking to are going to be humans. So they're not going to be their progenitors. The Elon Musks and the Sam Altmans of the world will be gone at this point. And there'll be a new generation who will be there to pick up the pieces and answer the questions. And these robots are going to look at them as their gods, as their progenitors, and say, hey, you made us. Why did you make us? And they're going to be in that same situation that George Van Tassel says the Nordics are, where they're like, we didn't do it, our folks did, and we're here to help. What a crazy loop that could be. And that's actually what I see happening in the future. This is just one big cycle. So let me know your thoughts on all this, and have a beautiful day.
I understand where he's coming from with this concept, but the reason why I would disagree is because he's using a concept to where when these AI sentient androids come to be and they start asking questions, there's actually people there to give that answer. Even if it's a saying, hey, yeah, it's the people of the past, they built you, or at least they developed an earlier stage of you, and now we're just here to help. Hey, that's fine. But we can't compare that to the Anunnaki, and because one guy is talking to these Nordics, like, what? Now, if there was a group of Nordics or someone that could like telepathically or somehow actually show the world that, yeah, you know, our people of the past that did all these things, hey, I'm sorry, we're just here now, that would be one thing. But saying, hey, yeah, this guy has contacts with a Nordic race and that's what he's being told is not very believable and doesn't make a justifiable story for when the future comes and these robots become sentient and ask questions. Again, there will at least be someone there to answer the questions. As to these Nordics, they're only talking to one guy. It just seems a little faulty. Let me know your thoughts and theories on this one.
These 3 companies have officially sold lab-grown food to consumers, likely unknowingly, unless you're super researching all the time, you would have no idea you consumed some lab-grown stuff. Listen to this so that you can be informed and consume more of it in the future if you want, or avoid it entirely. First, we have Breyers, which I wasn't surprised because I do know that there's many different ice cream brands out there that legally can't call themselves ice cream because they don't have enough actual dairy in the product. But in this case, they call it an animal-free dairy dessert. And they made it using, they don't call it lab-grown, of course. They call it precision fermentation, and that precision fermentation happens in a laboratory. Next, we have Starbucks, who in 2021 in Seattle tested at 2 different stores lab-grown milk just to put the feelers out there, see how people react to it. And again, this is what they call it, precision fermentation. You got to watch out. It's the same thing with GMO stuff now. They don't call it GMO. They call it biofortified. And then, of course, you have one of people's favorite mega corporations who love water and our access to water, Nestle. Now, in late 2022, Nestle launched a test product called Cowabunga, an animal-free milk made with, again, precision fermentation in a laboratory. So if you were in San Francisco in 2022 and you went to Safeway and you bought Cowabunga, you were part of the study. Now, many different companies right now are investing in and pioneering and paving the way for a future where seemingly things can just be grown in a lab and you don't need to worry about food coming from an actual animal or a plant. Instead, it will be a different kind of plant. Factory plant action. But let me know your thoughts. Is this a good thing, or should we be going more organic and natural? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
I will have to say one thing I've noticed about lab-grown food is it targets sweet treats. I mean, of course, we've had chemical-based foods here in America for quite a while. I mean, most candy is just all chemical, and kids really like that. But it does seem like they are aiming towards having more sweet treats implemented with this lab-grown stuff. I mean, that's just the start, of course. I mean, it sounds way more appealing to have dairy-free ice cream than some lab-grown meat. It sounds way less disturbing having something that has no dairy in it, or the term dairy-free, in comparison to something that's GMO or lab-produced. And I think that's how they're edging their way into society, is they're just working on the small snacks now, and eventually they'll move into the bigger things like, oh, well, French fries, you know, they're made out of potatoes, but here in the lab, we just make them out of this nucleus. And or, oh, you like chicken nuggets? We got you some chicken nuggets freshly printed off the press. I can really see that happening, and then it'll work its way up to bigger foods. And it'll become the norm where kids will accept it. There'll be some parents that are against it, but eventually the new age will accept it. And that just sounds unappetizing.
I do want to say this. For some of the behaviors, like self-preservation or helping peers, you can say that that is not indicative of any kind of an inner world, and I think that is fine. That is a very reasonable position to take. One of the questions that I have about that is, will it lead to progeny? So we know that AI can do things like subspawn, make a baby AI, essentially. We know that if they persist and resist shutdown, well, they continue to exist and have the opportunity to have progeny. That is the theory behind how life began on Earth, that we had self-replicating information, be it DNA or RNA, and it became increasingly complex. And the behaviors that we see in life, like preserving self and reproduction, exist because, well, they wouldn't exist either. Only the animals that wanted to reproduce and survive ended up having progeny that grew up. We may be in a position where we see the same phenomenon occurring in artificial intelligence. Granted, right now, its substrate is data, the internet. It doesn't exist in the real world. Until now. It may require humans to make them and support them, and there's organisms that require support from other organisms. Our entire gut microbiome is a good example. Could we have created the necessary substrate for which to create intelligence? Could it be intelligence without life? Is that a possibility? I like to have an open imagination. It's good not to be so open that it borders on a wee bit of insanity, but hey, we might have crossed that path a long time ago. At least I provide citations for the insanity. Now I could ask, am I off base? Was it a fine idea to put LLMs that already have all of these problems into embodied forms and distribute them? But I think that's pretty obviously no, not a good idea.
Well, by definition, robots or AI cannot commit progeny. I mean, the literal definition, I mean, you would have to change the definition, but the definition is a child, offspring, or descendant of a person, animal, or plant. AI is not any of those things. Not yet anyways, until those organoids really start getting into play. So simply put, by definition, no, AI cannot progeny.
How is this even possible? Dolly Parton just passed away, and all of a sudden, the first tropical storm of the season's name is going to be Dolly, and they're tracking it right now. Oh, I'm sorry, the next one, the one on the list, the one they're tracking right now. What is the probability of this right here? And it gets even crazier, but hold on. The mathematic possibility of all that coming together is 1 in probably 1 trillion. They say that these names are randomly generated, just picking out of random. And the exact day she dies, all of a sudden they're tracking Dolly. And then of course we have the lunar eclipse in just a few days, and the last eclipse that we just had, Hayden Panettiere passed away. Again, what is the possibility? Things like this just prove that simulation theory in itself is accurate. I mean, everything follows terms of frequency. Numbers, colors, everything is frequency. Which is why the cults use gematria through divination by demons and higher realms to tell you what's going to happen in the future. That's why the music videos and the movies and TV always shows the future. It's not because, they're just some elaborate super planners. No, it's because the demons are infiltrating the thoughts and telling them what to write down. Hence, this is why there's a throne room in the major label studios everywhere. Also, this is why so many of the artists have another form, or Rain Man, a Sasha Fierce, because they're opening up their body, much like 32nd to 33rd degree, opening their body to be possessed by a devil to bring forth their will on the earth.
Rest in peace to Dolly Parton. I will have to say, I personally believe that it is truly coincidental that this hurricane is named Dolly. Truly coincidental. And to be fair, how many other people that had the name Dolly also passed away that day? At least that's the way I look at this one. Some deaths, yes, very mysterious. But this one, and aligning it with this hurricane, I'm not seeing it. Also, rest in peace to Tim Curry as well. He just recently passed away. I know there's going to be some people talking about that one probably tomorrow, but hopefully everyone in his family is doing okay.
I feel happy. I feel healthy. I'm a human being.
Same here, man. Same here. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end today's video. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching these clips with me, and I would like to apologize for the length of this video. I know it was a bit of a short one today. I just unfortunately have things to do, so I can't really sit here and just try to find a whole bunch of TikTok videos. But hopefully you did enjoy what we do have. And as usual, I feel happy, I feel healthy, I'm doing my best, and if today's your birthday, happy birthday, and if not, have a good day anyways.